Right now, I want you to try something with me. Don't blink, not for a few seconds, for a full minute. Feel that. That pressure accumulating behind your eyes, building, intensifying, until you have to. Now imagine that compulsion isn't limited to your eyes. Imagine every few seconds, your body moves. Your face contorts. A sound erupts from your throat, without your permission. But here's the neurological paradox that will fundamentally challenge your understanding of voluntary control. Sometimes, you are aware of it. You recognize the movement occurring. You perceive others staring, and still, you cannot stop. This is the hidden neurological battlefield of Tics and Tourette Syndrome. A war between conscious intention and unconscious neural circuitry. Between what you desire and what your brain chemically demands. And by this video's conclusion, you'll comprehend why some neurological battles cannot be conquered through willpower alone. So, what precisely constitutes a tic? Conceptualize it this way. Your brain operates a sophisticated control center. Inside that command room, specialized circuits determine when muscles should activate. But imagine something's malfunctioning in that system, the go signal firing over and over. Even while your conscious mind screams, "Stop!" This occurs in a subcortical region called the basal ganglia, your brain's primary movement regulation center. Under typical circumstances, a neurotransmitter called dopamine modulates this system. Think of it as the volume control on neural circuitry. But in Tourette and chronic tic disorders, that regulatory mechanism is fundamentally deteriorated. The signal doesn't deactivate when it should, so even when conscious intention opposes the movement, your basal ganglia has already initiated the motor sequence. The neural signal fires, the muscle fiber contracts, and you just executed it. But here's what renders this truly remarkable. A tic isn't neurological randomness. Your brain genuinely interprets it as a protective mechanism, believing that releasing the movement will alleviate neural tension. And the cruel part, it does, for about 3 seconds. Then the pressure builds again, and again, and again. Here's where it becomes fascinating and misunderstood. Not all tics are unconscious. Many individuals with Tourette actually sense the tic approaching. It's like a neurological wave rising inside you, an itch in your brain that cannot be scratched, a pressure behind your eyes, in your throat, in your shoulders. They choose to execute the tic to discharge that accumulated pressure. Wait, so they're performing it intentionally. Yes and no. If they try to suppress it, the tension becomes unbearable. Imagine suppressing a sneeze, but that urge lasting for hours. So yes, they're executing it. But not for attention, for neurological relief. There's a difference between, "I want to do this," and "I need to do this," or the internal pressure becomes intolerable. And that distinction, that's everything. But if you're aware of your actions, shouldn't control be possible? That's the question haunting everyone living with this condition. And the answer challenges everything we assume about voluntary control. Here's what clinical literature rarely emphasizes: the psychological burden. When people observe you, when you try to hide it, it intensifies. When suppression fails, you feel self-disappointment. You think, "If I'm aware of this, why can't I stop?" That's the cruel illusion. You recognize it happening, you wish for it to stop. And that shame, that stress, actually amplifies it. Tic, guilt, stress. More tics. A vicious neuropsychological cycle. One teenager said, "It's like sneezing, but everyone judges you for a natural reflex." Another, "I'm not neurologically broken. My brain just learned a maladaptive coping mechanism." Stress and shame don't just hurt feelings, they flood your body with cortisol, hyperactivate your nervous system, and make the basal ganglia fire that go signal even harder. So when someone says, "Just relax," that's like telling someone mid-panic attack to just calm down. It doesn't work that way. The brain doesn't work that way. If this sounds familiar, or if you know someone like this, you're not alone in this neurological journey. Not all tics manifest identically. Some are simple, a blink, a sniff, a throat clear. Others are complex, touching objects, repeating words, or full body patterns. Tourette syndrome requires both motor and vocal tics persisting beyond 1 year. But many others experience chronic or transient tics, or something newer, functional tics. Functional tics look the same but are driven by emotional dysregulation, not dopamine imbalance. These individuals are profoundly aware of their actions. Their brain has linked movement with relief. Different origin, same experience, because whether it's Tourette, chronic, or functional, the brain has learned that movement equals relief. And once that link is made, it's hard to unlearn, but not impossible. Which brings us to possibility. Can the brain unlearn this pattern? Yes, through something called habit reversal training, or comprehensive behavioral intervention for tics. And it's not about suppression, it's about redirection. Step 1. Awareness training, recognizing the premonitory urge before it triggers. Step 2. Competing response, replacing the tic with a subtle alternative that releases tension without reinforcing the loop. Step 3. Neural consolidation over time. The brain learns new routes for relief. The result? The tic loses neurological dominance. But this therapy does more than rewire behavior. It transforms identity. Because when you realize you're not helpless, that you can collaborate with your brain, everything shifts. You stop being a victim of your tics. You become a navigator of them, and you're not walking that path alone. Tourette affects 1 in 100 children. Millions more experience unspoken tic mode. Here's what changes everything. The moment you stop hiding. Silence feeds shame. Community feeds healing. Billy I. Lewis Capaldi. Countless others living with tics, thriving not despite them, but with them, one person said. I hid for 10 years. Then I spoke about it, and the relief was greater than any tic I'd ever had another. My tics didn't go away, but the weight of hiding them did. Shame grows in silence. Acceptance grows in visibility. Not aberrant, you're not broken, you're human. With a brain that learned a different rhythm. Every brain has its rhythm, some smooth, some chaotic, all telling a story. Tourette doesn't define you. It reveals your resilience, the strength to wake up each day and live inside a body that doesn't always listen. So the next time your body acts without permission, not broken, you're not diminished, you're human, learning to make peace with the complexity inside your mind. That's courage. If this helped you feel understood, share it, and remember, you are more than a tic. You are complete, complex, beautiful, and you deserve to be seen that way.